everybody, Donna Schwartz here. I figured I'd play that little lick that I do for my videos live, just for you. And just because someone asked, actually. Again, this is Donna Schwartz from DonnaSchwartzMusic.com. Right now we're on Facebook live for you. So come on down, show up. Write your questions in the comment section below so I can answer them. If not, you're watching the replay. Awesome, very cool. Please share the replay. I'd really appreciate it. That'd be really cool. And in the meantime, check out my website, DonnaSchwartzMusic.com. A lot of free videos there. And if you want to sign up, you get the weekly tips in my newsletter. Just sign up on my website. Okay, so I had a bunch of really good questions this week. And what I did, I took some of them and I kind of put them into a theme. And the theme kind of fits what I just played a minute ago, which was the little theme that I have right now for my videos. Someone had asked me a couple of weeks ago, what notes am I playing in that intro? Here's my answer. You're not going to like me. I'm not going to tell you. If I tell you, I'm not helping you. And let me give you a little background story. When I grew up, I played trumpet. I still do. And the way I was taught, as were most people at the time, we were taught to read and play at the same time. We were never, honestly, really taught to use our ears, which is crazy for music, right? Music is all about listening, and hearing. And that's the topic for today. So, you know, I was great at reading, and I kind of had an idea where the pitches were. But when I really did really well with my instruments and with music was when I started to realize that I needed to actually listen to great players. Luckily for me, there were some kids that were older than me that, you know, I said to myself, I got to listen to them, see what they're doing, see what they sound like. And I was lucky enough to have that. And then at the time, when we had to prepare solo festivals, solos for solo festivals every year, I was thinking about finding recordings for the pieces that I had. Now, this is an era where there were no CDs yet, so there were just cassettes and listening to the radio. Yikes. And no internet either. Yee. So it's a little bit harder. There's so much of an advantage now. You have so many opportunities and tools right at your fingertips. So I had to search for these recordings. But what that did for me, all that listening to great players playing the pieces that I wanted to play, it really built up my hearing, okay? And that's what I want to talk about. Building up my hearing, building up my sense of what the instrument should sound like, the style, the nuances. And also, what it helped me with too, I listened to a piece, like let's say the Haydn Trumpet Concerto, and I wouldn't just listen to the trumpet part, I'd be listening to the accompaniment. And every time, I wouldn't listen to the piece to learn how to play it, meaning notes and rhythms. I listened to the piece to learn how to perform it. There's a difference there. I could just play a piece, but if I really want to do well, I want to perform it. And to perform it, you've got to get all those nuances, the style, the vibrato, you know, all those types of things in there. So at that early age, that young age, that's what I was training myself to do. Then when I hit college, I thought, hey, I'm this hotshot player, whatever. I hit college, and my trumpet teacher, Vince Panzarella from the New York Philharmonic, said, okay, sing this. And he'd have me try to sing one of those Arbin characteristic studies in the back of the book. And I'd be like, huh? Because I hate singing. I really do. I hate my voice. And man, that was a wake up. That was a nightmare. Oh my God. So the way he was trained many years ago was that you had to sing everything first. That's how he was trained. Sing everything first. Then you play it on the mouthpiece. And then you play it on the trumpet. And that's how, when I was studying with him for many years, that's what I was doing. And that's what I do with my students now. So a lot of folks ask, well, what are the notes for that? What are the notes for that? You know, when you're just looking at the notes, you're not getting the full picture. The best way to learn, honestly, is to listen to the piece of music, that you're working on, or the song or the phrase or the solo or the lick, whatever it is. Listen to it. Listen to it a million times. Burn it in your brain. Really get it in there, really tight. Then you don't know if you're really hearing it until you do this next step. This next step is singing it. Okay? So that little lick I played in the beginning, right? I just sang it an octave lower. If you want to learn that, what you do, play that over and over again. Not you play it, play the recording over and over again. Get it in your head, get a part of it in your head if you need to, and then sit there, shut off the recording, and sing it. Now here's the mistake that some people make, and it actually isn't a mistake, but I just think differently. A lot of times what people will do, they'll put a recording on, and they'll sing along with it. A lot of guitar players tend to put a recording on, they'll play along with it, even before they know it. The problem with that, I feel, is that how are you listening and playing at the same time? How are you listening fully, I should say, and playing at the same time? Because when we play with a band, we're listening, obviously. But when you're first learning something, you need to listen to everything. And it's hard to listen to everything when you got a horn in your mouth, okay? So, when you're learning something, again, piece, lick, whatever the case may be, play it 1.5 million times, shut the recording off, and try to sing it. You don't know if you're hearing it until you can replicate it by singing it. Now, there's some folks that say, I hate my voice. So do I. And imagine feeling that way and teaching young kids for like over 14 years and singing out loud in front of them. Boy, that's fun. But you know what? Here's the thing. It's your voice. Love it. It's the bottom line. It's your voice. We all have different fingerprints. We all have different vocal fingerprints, so to speak. Love it. If you don't like your voice, sing more. Practice singing more. Do a lot more listening. A lot more singing. Now, some of you may ask, well, okay, how do I know I'm singing it right? A couple of things you can do. After you've heard the phrase that you're working on, a lot of times you have a burn in your brain, you're singing it, then you could sing along with the recording to check yourself. And in fact, what would really help you is first record yourself singing it, and then listen back and compare it to the original recording, and then sing along with the recording. You'll hear if it's off. You'll hear if it's off by a little bit. There's some tools to help you. I've spoken about this in a number of my videos. Best Practice is one of them. Amazing Slow Downer is truly amazing. These are tools that help you to slow down tracks by percentages to, whatever you need to do. You could change pitch on it. It's awesome. These are great ways to learn pieces. Great ways to also practice, your play-alongs and stuff. And it's not just jazz, it's classical too, all right? Smart music is truly smart. It's a great tool. There are some jazz things in there. There's some Jamie Ebersol books in there. I forget some of the other publishers in there, but there's also a lot of classical pieces in there as well. And they provide the background tracks. And smart music, if you buy the microphone, you clip it on the bell, you could play along. The accompaniment, you could set the accompaniment to follow you as opposed to you following it. Pretty awesome, right? So there's a lot of great tools out there to implement this stuff. So long-winded answer to that question. Hey, Donna, what are the notes to that intro thing that you play in all your videos? I'm not telling you. I want you to use your ears. I want you to figure it out, all right? If I tell you, I'm not being a good teacher. That's how I feel strongly. I'm not helping you learn, and that's what I like to do. I like to help people to learn, and I don't want to give you a crutch, so to speak, okay? So that's the answer to that question. Another quick question I had also, will your trumpet embouchure ruin a saxophone embouchure? No. It's weird. Growing up, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, very interesting. I was told growing up, oh, you can't play brass and woodwinds at the same time, you'll ruin your embouchure. You know what? No, you won't. When you're first starting out, you don't want to be playing so many different types of instruments. You want to really get solid with one instrument. You do want to develop the muscles in your face for that. But over time, once you're doing pretty well on that instrument and you're able to play a lot of things, if you want to explore another instrument, there's no harm to it. What I like to do, I like to compartmentalize, meaning that if I'm playing brass instruments, this is what I'm thinking in terms of embouchure. When I'm playing clarinet saxophone, this is what I'm thinking in terms of embouchure. When I'm playing flute, this is what I'm thinking in terms of embouchure. So I just have to approach it with that way. That's why there's a lot of great like woodwind doublers and stuff like that, can play a million instruments. One of my friends up in New York, Alan Mandel, does that. He can play anything. And I'm pretty sure he could play trumpet and all that kind of stuff too. He was a band director for a while as well. That's how band directors do it. They have to, in order to be able to, for what I believe, in order to be able to teach an instrument, you should be able to play it. And so I made sure I taught myself all the instruments. So that's what I do. I compartmentalize. I don't think of my trumpet embouchure getting ruined by playing saxophones. I used to, because that's what I was told. And to me, that's misinformation. That's not necessarily true. Hey, Deleton, how you doing? So that's how I feel about that. And here's a great question that I wanted to use Facebook Live to answer. I talk about, and I've been talking about this whole time, you need to hear it, you need to sing it before you can play it, okay? That's how I've been trained all these years. That's how my mentors have been trained for a gazillion years before that. And it works, it really does. But someone asked me, Donna, hi, can you whistle instead of sing? Okay, I'm going to approach this question two ways. For brass players, a lot of times there's a man, Fred Sauter, I think I'm saying his name right, who played trumpet, I think principal trumpet in Oregon in one of the symphony orchestras there many years. Great player. He put out a video, now it's probably a DVD, of basically how to play the trumpet. And one of his methods was called the whistle or the silent whistle technique, where if you have a passage, you would actually whistle it to emulate or imitate your tongue level in your mouth. Makes total sense. And in fact, I use that method when I'm teaching beginners. I use that method because we need to imitate what our body's naturally doing. So someone asked me, can you do that on the saxophone? Now I talk about singing. I feel that singing is better than whistling. And I was testing this out after that person asked me that question, in particular for saxophone. The thing is this, I know for me, I can't whistle very high, or I don't have an extensive range. And I don't have the greatest voice either, but I have a pretty good range. But when you whistle, your tongue level in your mouth is a little bit different than when you sing it. And for the trumpet, I'm going to say for the trumpet, that's going to be okay, because you do need that extra, push with the air, that extra, I call it like a ski slope in a sense, to help make the air go faster. And you don't have a mouthpiece in your mouth. On the saxophone though, if you're using whistling and imitating whistling, but that's a really silent whistle today. Yeah, my tongue level is a little bit more forward in my mouth. That may be a problem with the mouthpiece in my mouth. I find it's better to sing anyway, because you're able to really hear, you'll be able to really tell that you're hearing the pitches, okay? Here's the other thing too. If you really imitate whistling, you may fall under the trap of kind of moving your chin around a little bit too much and getting more of an ooh embouchure when you're playing saxophone, and you don't, that's my feeling, you don't necessarily want that. I teach a different way. I use a lot of Joe Allard's techniques, methods, that kind of thing. So you don't want to be going like that. So that's why I'm going to say, in answer to that question, can't we just whistle instead of sing? I'm going to kind of say it's better to sing, because when you're singing, I'm just keeping this natural. And that's what I want to do when I'm playing the saxophone. You see that? So there's a little bit too much movement there. I don't want to get into that. I want to make playing as natural as possible for you. what I do for me is going to work for me. If I give you a general concept, understand the general concept and you make it work for you. Okay, so I hope that that answers that question without leaving confusion. It really shouldn't. Okay? All right, so I had some really great questions this week. I really appreciate it. If there's any other questions, type them below. If not, I will see you on my website, donnaschwartzmusic.com. Right now, what you can do if you sign up, you get 3 tips to fatten up your sound. Just give me your email address and you're going to get that video right away. It's a great video. It's helped a lot of people. And then you get weekly tips from me. Something like these videos, but personalized for my subscribers to help you with your playing. And also, I'm going to put the link below. There's an article. One of my articles came out on this really awesome website, easyeartraining.com. I'm going to put the link below. They just published my article, Listen and Sing Your Way to Great Musicianship. And that's what this whole session's been about. So I will put the link below. Check it out, like it, share it. Yay you. Please share this replay. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have any questions in the future, go to my Facebook page or go to my website and contact me. Or if you're a subscriber to my website, shoot me an email. Let me know what your question is, and I will try to answer it on a later session. Thanks again for joining me. Take care. Have a great week.